Hello, my respected viewers. It's April 11th, and it's time for our usual rundown of events on the fronts of the Ukrainian war. I'll begin with the Karlovsky direction. That's the same one that split from Savdivka. Yesterday, significant events happened here. Our forces continued to clear the enemy's territory up to the highway. Well, wouldn't really call it a highway, but nonetheless, it's a road with hard covering between the settlements of Umanskoye and Netaylovo. In general, the enemy was pushed back beyond it. The only place where we haven't managed to do this as of this morning is the southwest part of Umanskaya. The southeastern part is under our control. Fierce fights are ongoing for control over the whole southern part of Umanskoye, and this way we'll conclude cleaning this territory. The enemy will likely try to delay our advance, taking advantage of the gradually narrowing pass between the two rivers, which is conditionally targeted by drones from both sides. Thus, they are trying to neutralize the threat of our further advance. Nonetheless, our troops are likely to proceed regardless of these threats, and I expect that eventually we'll try to cross to the other side of the Dunaya River. The bridgehead in Semyonovka, where, by the way, our forces continue to successfully advance, will probably be used. Yes, the enemy was not completely ousted from Semyonovka yesterday, yet everything suggests that sooner or later they will be removed from there. In the end, this bridgehead will be utilized not only to advance to the island in the future, but also to strike at the rear of the enemy's defense group, which is defending the northern part of Umanskoye. And this canopy greatly complicates the enemy's resistance outside Taylov, because we are hovering, in fact, over the left flank into the enemy groupings outside Taylov, shooting through this long intestine, that is, this settlement. It is located along the river with a very long intestine, as well as the Mayday intestine, respectively. If we get lost on the other side, we will shoot at the enemy's positions, complicating his logistics, disrupting the rotation of his forward strongholds, which will naturally be used by our troops to successfully move forward. That is, this is the situation here. And then we move north to the Cheretino direction. Here the enemy, understanding the threat of our breakthroughs in the Novokalinov area, concentrated a mobile reserve yesterday, trying to knock us out of there all day. Our guys held their positions. This was again facilitated by good work. The enemy's air reserves, were often attacked even before that moment. How they moved to the attack line, and indeed suffering heavy damage, the enemy didn't manage any results here yesterday. Well, it's traditionally, again, it's not the first time in this area. After these attacks have been pushed back, after the reserves of the enemy have been exhausted, we should expect the next attack. It usually happens a few days after the enemy has recuperated. That's the situation here. Next we head north to Tschasow. They have taken roughly half of it and scooped out slightly less than a kilometer to the Seversky-Donetsk-Donbass Canal. The enemy is desperately trying to secure their line of defense. Our planes and artillery continue to target it, destroying his reserves and softening the front line, which will clearly be attacked in the near future. The same thing is happening in Tschasow itself, the canal micro-district. Our forces are gradually attempting to advance into its eastern part and taking individual houses under their control nevertheless. There's no need to discuss real progress yet, but I think it's not far off. This time is referencing the two main primary directions. Interesting events also occurred yesterday. In the Bilohorivka area, this is the Seversky sector. Our troops conducted a short but effective attack. So the attack yesterday in the Bilohorivka area really reminds me of preparations for the main assault on the mountain. As the White Mountain here, it sustains all of the enemy's positions. It's the backbone of their defense, and if they lose it, the enemy will be pushed back not just here, but to the very outskirts of Seversk. Even in the Serebryansky forest, their positions will already be exposed on all flanks, and so they will have to completely surrender these positions, which will immediately simplify the situation for us in the Lyman sector. So the key to the enemy's defense on this sector is the White Mountain. Our troops earlier took control of the mountain's eastern slope, and yesterday it was the southern one.